Students, in this video we will study the one more inorganic topic, that is the coordination compounds. So coordination compound is important for 6 marks with respect to theory examination. In part C, 3 marks 2 questions you will get. 3 marks 2 questions you will get. So this topic is important for 6 marks. Now students, we'll study first types of salts. So already in the laboratory, in a chemistry laboratory, you have performed the inorganic, the salt analysis. So we are also here studying the same salts. So types of salts. The first one is a simple salt, second one is a double salt, and third one complex salt. Either we will call it as coordination compound, either complex compound. Now I will go with the first one, simple salt. So as already you are done in the laboratory, so simple salt will be given to you. So you are doing the analysis and you are identifying which basic radical and which acidic radical is present. So in this salt there will be one cation and one anion, one acid radical and one basic radical. So which contains, simple salt contains one cation, one anion. Then example you can take NaCl, Na plus Cl minus. Same way you can take Al2, SO4 thrice aluminum sulfate, potassium bromide, Na sodium bromide. So many examples are there. So I will go with the second one, that is nothing but double salt. So double salt means two salts are mixed, two simple salts are mixed. Two simple salts are mixed. There we are having two cations and two anions. So there we are having two cations and two anions. You can take the example more salt. That is nothing but ferrous ammonium sulfate. So ferrous sulfate, ammonium sulfate, two salts. They are mixed. So ferrous is a cation, sulfate is an anion. Again ammonium is a cation, sulfate is an anion. So keep two cations, two anions. Now comes the third one with related to this topic, that is nothing but this topic name is coordination compound. So coordination compound we can call it as complex salt, either complex compound. So what do you mean by that, complex salt or complex compound? See, complex salt or complex compound, you take an example here, potassium ferrocyanide we will call it as. So potassium, there are four potassiums are there, four potassium. Then in a square bracket, inside the square bracket iron is there and cyanide are there. So in this example, the whatever in a square bracket we have mentioned, in that whatever the d block element is there, so there will be presence of d block element. That d block element we will call it as central metal ion. And other than that metal, whichever the ions or molecules are present, those are called ligands. Those are called ligands. And outside the sphere, outside the square bracket, outside the square bracket, so that square bracket also we will call it as coordination sphere. That square bracket is also called coordination sphere. So that coordination sphere, outside the coordination sphere or outside the square bracket, means it may be a left side or it may be a right side. So whichever the atoms ions are present, so those are called counter ions. And in coordination sphere, the metal is bonded with fixed number of ligands. The metal is bonded with the fixed number of ligands. Those are called coordination entity. If the metal is bonded with a fixed number of ligands, that is called coordination entity. Then outside the sphere, we will call it as counter ion. So these are the compounds containing coordination entity in which central metal atom or ion is bonded by fixed number of molecules or anions called ligands by coordinate bond. So coordination compound means these are the compounds containing coordination entity in which the central metal atom or ion is bonded to fixed number of molecules or anions called ligands by coordinate bond. Now see the certain coordination compounds which are having metal ligands. Now first one, take an example of chlorophyll. So chlorophyll contains coordination compound Chlorophyll is nothing but a coordination compound which contains magnesium as a metal. So chlorophyll which contains magnesium as a metal. Then take an example of hemoglobin, blood. In blood hemoglobin will be there. So that is also one kind of coordination compound and which contains iron. We can take vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 also coordination compound which contains the metal cobalt. So you can see here different sources of vitamin B12. Now the differences between double salt and complex salt, that is nothing but coordination compound, either complex compound. Now see the double salts, I will take an example of more salt. So more salts, the more salt is nothing but here two salts are mixed, means of ferrous sulfate and ammonium sulfate, which gives more salt, that is nothing but a ferrous ammonium sulfate. Now this ferrous ammonium sulfate or more salt is stable in solid state. It is stable in solid state. But when you will dissolve it, whatever the ions are present, those ions will dissociate. Those ions will dissociate into constituent ions in the solution. And these ions will answer for inorganic analysis. So whatever in the laboratory will perform the test, sulfate test, ammonium test, ferrous test. For example, for ammonium you are doing the Nessler's reagent test and sulfate barium chloride test. They will answer for individual tests, and the property of the double salt solution are nearly same as individual constituents. Whatever the constituents are there or individual ions are there, those property, and in double salt also, double salt solution also, both are in the both the cases they are having same properties. Now same way complex salt or coordination compound, I will take an example of potassium ferrocyanide. So potassium ferrocyanide is stable in solid state as well as solution. So coordination compounds or complex salts which are stable in both solid as well as in a solution. They do not dissociate into constituent ions. Only if the counter ions are present outside the sphere or outside the square brackets, the cation counter ions are present, or if it is a right side, then negative ions are present, that is the anions are present. Only those ions will dissociate. Whatever the coordination sphere is having, that will not dissociate into individual ions. In the coordination sphere, whatever it is there, it is a coordination compound, it is having its own identity. It is having its own identity. So here metal of complex ion is not free in a solution. See, the potassium will get a positive charge, and that complex or coordination sphere whatever is there, it will get a negative charge. So that coordination sphere whatever is there, that is nothing but our coordination compound which is having own identity. So property of the solution of coordination compounds are different from that of individual constituents. So individual constituent particle whatever is there, so those properties, and in solution whatever you are getting the ion, those properties both will differ. Students, now we'll see the differences between double salt and complex salt, either double salt and coordination compound or coordination complex. See the first difference. These are stable in solid state but dissociate into constituent ions. Double salts are stable in solid state but dissociate into constituent ions. Then complex salts are stable both in solid state and solution and do not dissociate into constituent ions. And double salts loses its identity in the solution, and complex salt does not completely lose its identity in the solution. The next, double salts property of a double salt solutions are nearly same as that of individual constituents. So property of individual constituents whatever is there, that is the same, remains same in the double salt also. Property of a solution of a coordination compounds are different from that of individual constituents. So here it is having its own identity. So properties differs. Then next, terminology in coordination compounds. So terminology means, let us see the coordination compound here. It is called potassium ferrocyanide. So in this, uh, whatever D block element is there, that is in the coordination sphere or square bracket. So inside the square bracket, if the D block metal is present, So that we will call it as a central metal or ion. Central metal or ion. So other than that metal, whatever is present, other than that, whatever is present, so that we will call it as ligands. Then, then the ligands are bonded with the metal. The ligands are bonded with the metal. That is, a fixed bonds will be there for metal. So that we will call it as coordination entity. That we will call it as coordination entity. So before square bracket or after square bracket, there are ions will be present. Those ions will call it as counter ions, and that square bracket, whatever is there, it is called coordination sphere. It is called coordination sphere. So before the coordination sphere or after the coordination sphere, if any ions are present, then those are called counter ions. So always at the left side there will be positive ions, and at the right side there will be negative ions. So let us move with the next concept, that is nothing but types of ligands. So types of ligands. So in the types of ligands, we are discussing about monodentate or unidentate ligands, then bidentate or didentate ligands, then polydentate ligands. So types of ligand: monodentate or unidentate, bidentate or didentate ligands, and polydentate ligands. So we'll move for first one, that is a monodentate or unidentate ligand. So monodentate or unidentate ligand means when ligand is bound to central atom through single donor atom. Means the central atom or ion is nothing but a d block element, it is a metal. To metal, if any molecule or ion is bonded with a single bond, only one bond, or there will be one donor atom. One donor atom can donate the electrons to the metal and it can make a bond with the metal. Only one bond it can make. So such a metal, such ion or atom or molecule, such ion, atom or molecule, we will call it as monodentate ligand. You can take the example water. So water is a molecule. So oxygen is a donor atom. Oxygen is having a lone pair of electron which can donate and which can make a bond with the metal. So only one donor atom is there, it can make only one bond. It is a monodentate ligand. Either you can take an example of ammonia, NH3. Nitrogen is having a lone pair of electrons. Nitrogen is a donor atom. So this donor atom can donate the pair of electron to the metal and this can make only one bond with the metal. So this is also monodentate or unidentate ligand. Then see some negative charged ligands. You can take halides. Here fluoride they have given. So here minus charge is there. Minus charge means it can easily donate to the metal and which can make only one bond with the metal. So it is called fluorido. Like that chlorido. Like that bromido. Okay. Then iodido. So halides also the donor atoms and these are also a monodentate or unidentate ligands. You can take hydroxide ion. Here oxygen is a donor atom. So negative charge is there. Negative charge will make a bond with the metal. So only one bond. So it is called hydroxido. Carbonate, you see. Carbon is a donor atom here. Carbon is a donor atom. Carbon can make bond with the metal by rotating a pair of electron. So it is called carbonato. Sulfate is there. Sulfur is a donor atom. Sulfur can either oxygen, you can not sulfur. Oxygen is a donor atom which can make a bond with the metal. So it is called sulfato. Then it is called nitrato. Nitrogen can make a bond with the metal. Then a nitro group is there. If nitrogen is bonded, then we will call it as nitrito N. Means nitrogen here a donor atom. If oxygen is a donor atom, then we will call it as nitrito O. Same way, NH2, that is called amido. NH2 minus, we will call it as amido. And last one, this is CN. Carbon is also donor atom, nitrogen is also donor atom. So if the carbon is bonded, we will call it as cyanido. Cyanido. If nitrogen is bonded with the metal, then we will call it as isocyanide. We will call it as isocyanide. So monodentate. So negative charged already ligands we have seen. Now we will see monodentate neutral ligands. So in a neutral ligands, first one, that is ammonia. Already we know nitrogen is a donor atom, so it is called amine. Then comes water, oxygen is a donor atom, we will call it as aqua. Carbonyl, CO, carbon monoxide, we will call it as carbonyl. Then nitrogen oxide, we will call it as nitrosyl. So these are neutral ligands and monodentate ligands. Means in a molecule or ion there will be one donor atom, or that molecule or ion which can make only one bond with the metal. Now second one you see, that is nothing but bidentate or didentate ligands. Bidentate or didentate ligands. So in a bidentate or didentate ligands there will be two donor atoms. So in a molecule or ion there will be two donor atoms, and simultaneously both the donor atom will donate the pair of electron to the metal, and which can make two bonds. So the ligand, it may be a molecule or ion which is having two donor atoms, both donor atoms can donate the pair of electron and both can make a bond with the metal. Means the bidentate ligands or didentate ligands can make two bonds with the metal. You can take an example, oxalate ion. See there. So oxygen is a donor atom. So there are two oxygen will act as a donor atoms. Both simultaneously will donate the pair of electron to the metal, and which can make two bonds with the metal. Either you can take an example, ethylene diamine. It is also called ethane 1,2-diamine. Ethane 1,2-diamine or ethylene diamine. So here also you can see nitrogen is a donor atom. So there are two nitrogens, both nitrogens having a lone pair of electron. Both can donate a pair of electron to the metal, and which can make two bonds at a time. Two bonds, both can make a bond with the metal. So one ligand can make two bonds here. Then see last, that is a polydentate ligand. So polydentate means there will be presence of three or more than three donor atoms, and which can make bond with metal, three or more, which can make three or more bonds with the metal. There will be presence of three or more donor atoms, and which can make three or more bonds with the metal. Such molecule or ion we will call it as polydentate ligand. So here EDTA you take, ethylene diamine tetraacetate. It is a hexadentate ligand. Hexa means 6. So one ligand can make 6 bonds here. So there are in one ligand or in one ion, molecule or ion, there are 6 donor atoms. So all the 6 donor atoms simultaneously can make the bond with the metal. So all 6 bonds will be made with the metal. That's why it is a hexadentate ligand. So one ligand is having 6 donor atoms, and all the 6 donor atoms simultaneously can make 6 bonds. He is called hexadentate ligand. So these are the polydentate. So same way, if 3 donor atoms are there, then we can call it as tridentate also. 4 are there, tetradentate, like that. So instead of tri, tetra, we have called here polydentate. Okay, 3 or more than 3 donor atoms which can make 3 or more than 3 bonds with the metal. Such molecule or ion or such ligand we will call it as polydentate ligand. See here, 2 nitrogen atoms are donor and 4 oxygens are donor. Total 6 donor atoms are there in EDTA, that is a hexadentate ligand. Now see, 1 or 2 marks important. So repeatedly asked for 1 or 2 marks, that is nothing but ambidentate ligand. So ambidentate ligand means so ligand which can ligate through different atoms. Means what? There is a presence of two or more donor atoms. There is a presence of two or more donor atoms, but only one donor atom can make a bond with the metal. So in a metal or ion or in a ligand, there is a presence of two or more donor atoms, but any one donor atom can make a bond. It is also monodentate only. Why it is called ambidentate? But donor atoms are more. So donor atoms are more, but which can make only one bond with the metal, or only one donor atom can donate the bond with one donor atom can donate the pair of electron to the metal, and which can make the bond. You can take an example here. So cyanide you can take. So carbon also can donate the pair of electron to the metal. See, cyano group. Then if the nitrogen donates, the nitrogen can also make a bond with the metal. So only linkage differs here. Only linkage differs. If carbon donates, then metal bonds with the carbon. If nitrogen donates, metals bonds with the nitrogen. So two or more donor atoms are present, but only one bond which can make one donor atom can donate the pair of electron which can make only one bond. It is a monodentate ligand and it is also called ambidentate ligand. So it is called isocyanate. We can take one more example, that is nitrogen is bonded means nitrito N. If oxygen is bonded means nitrito O. Nitrito O. Here oxygen is a donor atom. So this is a ambidentate ligand, 1 or 2 marks important. Then see chelate ligand. So chelate ligand is nothing but a chelate means ring. So whichever the ligands which forms the ring are called chelate ligands. So here di or polydentate ligand uses two or more donor atoms to bind a single metal ion is said to be chelate ligand. So chelate ligand means I told ring formation ligand. So bidentate ligand is there. If it bonds with the metal, you can see ethylene diamine if it is bonded with the metal. So two donor atoms are there, both will make a bond with the metal. That time there will be a formation of ring. Ring means chelate. So if the chelate is forming means that ligand we will call it as chelating ligand. So di and polydentate ligands are called chelating ligands. You can take other example. Also that is a hemoglobin. Okay. So in a hemoglobin, oxygen carries which carries oxygen through blood from lungs and lungs to tissues. So more extensive chelation, that is the larger the number of ring closer to a metal atom, more stable is the compound. The number of donor atoms in a single ligand, that is the bind to central atom in a complex, is called denticity. So you can see denticity means, see the denticity. Denticity. Denticity derived from the Latin word tooth. The linkage is thought of biting the metal at one or more linkages or linkage points. See here. Yes, the linkage is thought of biting. It is biting the metal now.